Dear nobody. I used to think being alone meant something was wrong with me, but lately I've realized sometimes it's exactly what I need. By the way, I want to say thank you for your love and support on the first episode and the very first chapter of this whole journey. It's truly an honor to be here with you guys, and I truly didn't expect I would receive all that love. I I really appreciate it, guys. I've seen the demographics and it's quite incredible. There's someone in Canada and someone in Netherlands. Like I would expect Indonesia, yeah, and in the US, yes. But like some of the parts of the US that I saw was actually I did not expect any of it. I mean New York I expect because like a lot of my friends are here. But other than New York, actually I was impressed. So I want to say thank you once again for your love and support on the first episode. And now let's continue on the second episode. I'm so excited. So, in today's episode, we're going to talk about how sometimes all you need is to be alone. And that's the title of today's episode. Just a reminder that alone and solitude is not the same as being lonely. Being lonely has like a negative connotation. It's some sort of unwanted feeling of sadness from a lack of connection that you have, probably from someone or from your friend group or anything in life. While alone or solitude, it has a positive connotation. Sometimes we use those words to like reflect and recharge when you're getting overstimulated from the society world. You just want to be alone and just reflect and recharge. If you're an introvert, I'm pretty sure you know what I mean about recharging. So, after a long day outside or after a long day of work, you just want to like slump on the bed and then watch rom-coms or read something and recharge. And that is what we're gonna touch on today. So, growing up in Indonesia, we've been kind of like taught in a way that if you're doing something alone equals there's something wrong with you. Either no one likes you or you're weird or like other stuff. I don't know, probably scandal or rumors. I don't know. Yeah, those things exist, unfortunately. So, doing stuff alone is like a rare sighting. You don't really see it much. You don't see people eating alone in restaurants. You don't see people walking alone. Like in cafes, usually people are in pairs or in group settings. So, whenever you come in to the restaurant or that cafe and people see that you're actually alone, people will look at you so weirdly. I can It's like I have something on my face, or like I had a bad hair day and then I just came there and looking crazy. Like people will always give you looks, no matter what. So, unconsciously, by society, we have been controlled in a way that if you are doing things alone, then you're not okay. So that's why it's not really common to be alone in Asia or in Indonesia specifically. But I know most of my friends also have the same kind of experiences back then. I'm sure now, since we're more advanced and we are more progressive now, I'm sure people are slowly accepting that you can be alone outside. Like you can do things alone, you can eat alone, go to a cafe alone. Now it's more normalized, but back then, oh my god, it's like you carried COVID. Like in those times when we had COVID the first time, and someone has a COVID, you would not want to be near them. You would avoid them at all cost. And that was the feeling if you're going outside or outdoors alone by yourself in Indonesia. I know, like in Singapore, I see a lot of people They're all very independent, they're all doing things alone. But I also know that Singapore is one of the most competitive in a way. There's a term for it. It's like kiasu. Kiasu means like if you translate it in Indonesian language, it's like sikut-sikutan sama orang, which translated to English elbowing with other people. So it's like they're very, very competitive and they just want to be number one. But let me know if you're Singaporean and you feel that this changed and people are less competitive. Let me know in the comments because I would love to know that. The last time I went there, I think it was last year. So I don't really know how much it changed by only a year. But let me know still. I would really love to know. Okay. There are common things people don't want to be alone, like the reason why they don't want to be alone. And I'm talking about being alone, alone, not going through social media and find distractions. Like you're still alone, but you're not truly alone because you have those distractions or flooding yourself with work. Like no YouTube, no movies, no social media, no work, not even food, like nothing. Just imagine yourself sitting on a chair and then just do nothing. And that's when all of these thoughts come into your head. And the common thing why people don't want to be alone is that they don't want to face their own fears of getting to know themselves. And this is something that I believe it involves in some ways of psychology. There might be something that is wrong in your life and you avoid the issue. So you would always want to run away by going through distractions. Like, for example, asking other friends to hang out with you just because you don't want to be alone. That's something that you do when you're trying to avoid something. And another thing is that it might be that you don't want to face something that you did, that you know is bad, and you automatically, psychologically think that you're a bad person because what you did. But then you don't want to admit that you did it, so you avoid yourself facing the truth, telling yourself that you did not do it, but in fact you did. And for whatever reason, you just cannot deal with it. So there are different things that might lead into that. I know for a fact that confronting yourself is one of the hardest things to do, especially if you bottled up these things about yourself and you don't really like yourself. That's when it's so hard to confront yourself because it needs so much drive in you to accept the idea that you do need improvements. And probably at that time, you were not a really good person. I'm not saying that you are not currently. I'm saying that you probably weren't, and you probably did hurt someone else, and then you felt bad, so you don't want to admit it. So you cover it up so you won't ever face it and tell yourself a lie. That in itself, you already made a life in a lie. You lied to yourself and you decided to continue with it. That is something that holds you back from being a better person. I'm so sure that I have hurt other people's feelings in the past, even though it's not my intention to do it. For example, if I say something that's slightly wrong to someone and then they find it offensive, I would feel very guilty. Of course, I will apologize for it. But in some cases, if it's that humiliating, something in you will tell you that it never truly happened and they're gonna be okay. You're putting a lie to yourself in order for you to feel better. So, in this sense, if you have hurt other people's feelings and you don't want to confront yourself that you did in fact hurt other people's feelings, you cannot really grow out from feeling guilty. If you haven't owned your mistakes, you will never be free from that guilt feeling. We're humans, we're never perfect. We all have something that we felt guilty of, but we have to overcome that. It's like having a problem and never really solving it. It won't do you good. Once you realize that you need to become a better person and actually accepted the fact that you might have hurt other people along the way, only then you can change and try to love yourself more. Just accept yourself being the way you are. Yeah, I do have flaws and I did hurt people, but at the end, I'm always trying to become a better person, and that's okay. So sometimes perception of oneself really creates that hate relationship and not loving yourself enough because you don't really know who you are much to begin with. Once you know yourself more, you'll know the love aspects in you. Like you're kind enough to other people. That's something to like about yourself, you know? Not a lot of people are kind these days. They're just mean. It's definitely better to say nice things rather than saying hurtful stuff that you don't actually mean because that's very destructive. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. So, being alone really needs to be normalized more. Why? Well, number one, it's good for you so you can be independent and you won't depend on other people. This is very crucial because if you depend on others, you might not get what you want just because you're waiting on someone else. For example, this is a very true example of me. Me watching concerts. Lately, I've been watching concerts like Broadway, operas, or shows, like artist shows. I do them alone because sometimes if I wait for my friends, like I ask my friends, and if they're unsure of their own schedule and other reasons, which I'm totally fine with it because you do you. And I know my friends, they're all busy. I know people are busy. Everyone is. They're doing their own thing. But if I follow their schedule and I'm not stepping in on my own schedules, in the end, I kind of delay the process of me, myself, and I actually watching those things that I want to watch. Let's say if I want to watch Sabrina Carpenter, which I did actually, I watched her twice and I loved it. It was very entertaining, such a show. Anyway, the very first step to watch their shows is to actually have the tickets for it. And you know how ticket wars are. It's crazy. Like during the Eras tour or even Sabrina Carpenter, it's it's so crazy. Like within minutes it's gonna be gone. Gone, like sold out. The whole arena, the whole stadium sold out in minutes. So if I was actually waiting on someone to watch it with me and their responses are very, very fake, not like an immediate capitalized yes, I want to go. Yes, I would put my money just for this, or like I would put this day off just for the show. Oh my god. If they don't immediately say yes, and I waited for them, I would never watch them in real life because of the ticket war. Like it will sell out in minutes, and if I am not buying one for myself, I might not be able to get any. And even worse, I might even buy it from a reseller, which they cost a lot these days. If we mentally say, I'm going if you're going, then I'm sorry to say, but you might never go or do whatever you wanted to do. And whatever that is that you were thinking of doing, you know? So sometimes it's good to not depend on people. Number two of why this needs to be normalized more, I mean, being alone and being in solidarity, is that it's great for you to find yourself more, to get to know yourself more. It's a great win win solution for yourself. It's very character building. It is very self developmental, like reading those self help books, which are just supplementing you in order for you to get to know yourself more, to get your morality straight, just to stand up for yourself because you have to get to know yourself better. This is very good because you actually find out what you want or what you can be in your life. Like, example, what you want to create for yourself career wise, or what you want to do in the long run. Friendships, like, if you don't know yourself, you wouldn't get that high quality of friendships just because you don't know what you want in a friendship. And this also applies to romantic relationships, like what you want in a partner, what's tolerable in a partner, and what you don't find it tolerable. You can know these things after you get to know yourself more. At first, being alone, like fully alone, it might be really hard. But it makes you learn who you are without any validation or any approval from others, which is so annoying. If you live in that kind of world where you have to have their approval just to get on with your life, it's so annoying. I don't think you would want that. I really don't think so. What's the point of living if you just want to live by others' rules? Because that is not how you live your life. That's how you live other people's lives. You will learn who you truly are. It's like in my previous episode where I talked about how people are just gonna judge. Like, if you keep on waiting for their validations and waiting for their comments to say that, oh, this is good, or something like that, just to run your life, it's gonna be really hard for you to get to your final destination. You'll know the red flags of things or people because you know yourself enough to know how you want to be treated, how you don't want to be treated. Example, in friendships. Friendships are a mutual thing, and any relationships are like that. You cannot just have one person, like let's say you, running that friendship or relationship. It's always two people walking together in that journey, hand in hand. Sure, sometimes you can be faster than the other person, but it's never they stayed at one place and then you kept on moving further. No, you cannot do that. That is not a friendship. That's not mutual at all. Let's say you give your all to this friendship and that other person is not giving you enough effort to even maintain your guys' relationship, then why bother? You can make other friends too. There's like what, like 7 billion people here on earth? There will be someone out there that's better for you in friendships. Another thing is that you will respect yourself more, meaning not letting others to step on you. And this is very, very good. You get to know what your self-worth and you put boundaries around yourself. You know what I realized? This happens a lot to my friends who don't know who they are yet. I found it that a lot of people who don't know their sense of stability or like where they are standing in life, they're very easily manipulated or being easily convinced by an idea or some sorts that probably at first they did not really support it, but eventually they did because of that external influences. To think about it, it's similar to a building. It's very easy to be wobbly if you don't have a good sense of foundation or structure in life, and in this case, like morals too. So don't let others step on you. Then you'll start noticing what actually makes you happy without any of those external influences. External influences can be a lot of things. It can be trends, it can be someone's approval of you. I know a good example. Let's say if you like wearing Crocs. I know it's a hit or miss. I know it's not for a lot of people. In this world, we have some people who hate to death, hate Crocs, and the opposite side, they love wearing Crocs. So, in this case, if you really like wearing Crocs, but other people are like, "Ooh, like why do you wear this?" Those external influences might actually influence you. So getting to know yourself more and accepting the fact that, yeah, I actually like wearing Crocs and you stand by it, you stand by your own ideas, you're unshakable. And so even though people are saying like, "Oh, that's ugly," or like so unfashionable or something like that, you will not give a thing about what other people thinks. It's very, very hard to do that because sometimes when we know other people hate it, we sometimes lie to ourselves and say that I have to let you go because everyone hates you. You're already brainwashed at that point. You're suppressing what you actually like into someone's identity that you don't even like. I have a good example too, though. When I was little, I loved pink colors. I know that for a fact. I even had a freaking pink wallpaper. But when we get into like teenager phase, when someone asks you, "What's your favorite color?" Whenever I want to say pink, I know other people will judge me if I say pink. So I did not. I convinced myself that my favorite color is not pink. I've been lying to myself and saying to myself that my favorite color is not pink. And now I have embraced that. Now pink is like going viral. Not viral, but like it people are starting to like pink again. I have been lying to myself saying that I don't like pink just because of other people. But now I'm good though. Now I have tons of things that are pink and I wear them with pride. I love pink. You cannot say anything to make me change my mind about that, what I like and what I don't like. Of course, always have to have that balance of being alone and not alone because in the end, we're humans and we are a collective creature. We cannot live alone. We still need someone in life. Anything that's too much or too little, like extremes of something, is never good. Never, never good. With that being said, we're transitioning to the bad sides of being alone. Being alone can sometimes be destructive because you'll become too independent. Too independent is not so good. You think you won't need anyone's help at all, or you don't even want to ask for help because you've gone through it alone before. And in your head, you're like, I could do it before, I could do it again, which is kind of true. But you don't necessarily need to put yourself out there like in this jail of being alone and not asking for anyone's help or not involving anyone else but you. This also make you think that others will slow you down, which in some cases they probably could, but they mostly will slow you down because they have not gotten the chance to know the way you work or the way you do things. So they don't know what your preferences are. But once they know how you do things or how you work, they're actually making it way easier. It's like in friendships. At first, you don't know them well. Well, obviously, you just met them or like you just know them. But then when you get to know each other, spend a little bit more time on each other, you'll get to a point where you will be in this more personal level rather than just on the surface. Now you can start to share your secrets with that person. And I believe this dynamic is also the same with in work places, on in work life. Let's say that you're starting up your own business. Of course, you have to do everything by yourself. You got to experience the nitty gritty stuff before you hand them off to someone else. Once you build this foundation and you experience all the ups and downs, only then you know if things are impossible or if things are very easy tasks to do. Once you have done all of those things, you can eventually give the responsibility to someone else's hands. Only then you can have yourself a break and think about other things that is beyond you. If you look at successful companies, they will always have teams of everything, like social media teams or production team, audio team, video team, especially editing team. Those teams are the key to success. They're making things easier and faster for you to grow. In this case, when you level up your business, you will eventually need to put your trust into your team. Like, you cannot do every single thing by yourself anymore. If you do that, there's no room for you to think about the quality and the things that you want to improve and the things that you want to create. You won't have that space anymore. It's like once you graduated from high school, you're leveling up to university or college, bachelor degree. It's like that kind of milestone. And whatever you're doing in high school, you can let someone do that for you because you have gone through it. You know how it is, you know the life. So now your focus is on to bigger things, onto the things that you've never experienced before and the things that will make your business grow. The process of letting that go to give it to someone else's hands is a really hard thing to do. I know for a fact because whenever I try to do my own YouTube channel, I always have this idea of hiring an editor. And I never really got a chance to, because for me, editing is one of the forms that I can express myself. And I cannot do that if I don't have the right person to do it. So, in order for me to go through that path and finding the one that actually can help me express myself with their editing, they have to get to know me more in a sense of to know what I want in a video and to know what I don't want, like the edits to be. Then my life can get easier once I find that right person to be in my team. So finding that right person in your team, it's going to be hard. But once you find that person, you can trust them and leave everything in their hands. That way, your life will become way easier. It will give so much time for yourself to work and think about better and high quality things to do to grow your business. That's like a really long time to talk about that. Moving on to the next point on why being alone can sometimes be destructive. It can lead you to think that you're the best from anyone else. Like, you're the best out of the best. And that will have an effect on you not trying or to have an effort to build relationships, because once you get that ego of saying that, yeah, I'm the best from anyone else, it's easier for me to do things because I know how to do certain things. Once you have that in your mind, it's hard to build a relationship with other people. And when you get the slightest inconvenience, you'll just bolt out from that problem. It's always easier to run away rather than working it out. It's so easy to just say goodbye because you won't need to face them anymore. It's like having the taste of living alone. The freedom, there's no rules, you build your own rules. Once you taste that thing for a long time and then all of a sudden you live with someone else, it's gonna be really tough. They would probably do things completely differently than how you would do them. And that's okay. That's natural. We're all human beings and we're not built in the same environment or even in the same life. You live your own life, I live my own life. My experiences are never the same as yours. But in those cases, like, you cannot just bolt out. You have to compromise and be flexible with their presence, because if you're not, you would end up most probably alone in this cruel world. And you cannot do that to yourself. I'm gonna say it again from the point before. We are a collective human beings and we cannot do things absolutely alone. We still need other people for our sanity. It's for your minds. There's a fine line between protecting your peace and building walls so high that no one can reach you anymore. So I think being alone and in solitude is very good, but it's not for forever. The goal of being alone is meant to help you to get to know yourself better and knowing when to recharge and come back with a fresh set of mind. But it's not to hide you from the world. The world is so nice when you have people that love you, when you have people that care for you. It's very relieving. You gotta have the balance, knowing when to step back and when to come back again to the real world and when to let people in. When you step back is when you're feeling overwhelmed of something. You just need to clear your head. It's totally normal, totally fine to do. But you also need to know when to come back to that reality again and start facing with people, start doing things. Holidays are nice, but you have to come back and start working to get that money to go have a vacation again, right? So that is it from today's episode. I truly hope this brings a different kind of light in your life, and I hope that you can normalize being alone, especially in Asia. I know it's way harder to do than being in America or other places. But if you're thinking to start doing things alone because you just don't want to wait for other people, then I really encourage you to do that. It's actually a common thing to do, and you're not weird by doing things alone. I do that a lot. So you're not alone in this journey. Thank you so much for listening to Dear Nobody. New episodes are gonna be on every Thursday, so come hang out with me. If you wanna follow Dear Nobody in Instagram, it's gonna be at Dear Nobody Podcast. I post quotes there and some relatable stuff, so might check it out. There's also a link in the bio to submit a letter to me. It's all gonna be anonymous, so you can share whatever you feel like, any topics or experiences or anything really. You can be free there. Your secret is gonna be safe with me because it's anonymous. I wouldn't know who sent it to me other than your country, just for the data. If you want to follow me personally, it's gonna be at Sally Yapto in all platform. It's gonna be my name. Have a wonderful and lovely day or evening or night whenever you get a chance to listen to this. I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.